Doesn't that look absolutely beautiful? It's hard to imagine there's been like a cyclone in the North Island. Absolutely magic. It's a magic night. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to park up. I've got a few questions I want to ask you guys that most of you that know a little bit more about the topic than me, which is a topic based on outdoor living. My favourite chair is the one with the tail skin, with the boar skin behind it. It's a beauty. Miss Judy says it makes her get itchy ass, but I don't have a problem with it at all. One of the things I always used to take in the scrub when I was a younger fella, back in the day, we didn't have a phone to scroll on. We didn't have much, and I wasn't much of a reader. This was my go-to, and I never ever thought it would become something I'd make a full-time living out of, which I did for a long time. I travelled with that harmonica, and I used to do shows with just that. But it was something just to set my parasympathetic nervous system into action, get me into that rest and digest. When I've been hunting all day, from being in fight and flight to night, just slowing down, and by the fire, just sitting there playing a tune. It would be a way to calm myself to sleep, and it worked. Anyway, I wanted to ask a few questions to guys, for those of you that spend a lot more time in the field than I do, because I'm out of touch a bit. I haven't done many overnight camps other than staying in huts and dock huts, or mostly dock huts is where I mostly stayed. But I want to start taking the tent out. I've got a fly there, a Stony Creek fly, but I want to start taking the tent out. Today I had a look at one. It was a new tent, and it's one that it's a whole new technology. What was it called? I think it was a Tiger. Was it Tiger 2 or Tiger 1? I think that's what it's called. And it was at a place in Richmond called the Gear Shop. Now I love the Gear Shop. There's two here in Nelson. There's one in Richmond and there's one in Bolt Road. And you go in there and they've got everything. They've got crampons, they've got all the ropes, the climbing stuff, sleeping bags, boots, heart monitor if you want to do your fitness, a whole line of stuff from those Leatherman knives. You know, the Leatherman knives that open up, you've got all the different tools, like the Swiss Army knife, but it's got everything. And these guys have got these tents, and I looked at one today and I thought, that's a good tent because it's so light. Now, I'm a lightweight. I only weigh 60 kg, and I'm not that strong, but I can move quite quick if I stay light, but as soon as I start to put too much in my pack, I slow right down. And I'm just not built for carrying heavy loads like some guys. So getting a tent that's really light is important. So it's got to be under 2 kg. This one today was under 2 kg, but the trouble was the price and it was $1,300. So I want to just ask you guys that actually go out and stay in the scrub, other than just sleeping under a fly, which is a cheaper man's version of it, which I'm not that keen on doing because I like to have a good night's sleep. And the other thing too is I like to be off the ground, because when you're lying on the ground, the cold, the damp comes through, and old bones don't like it. I'm not 20 anymore where I can just stick a thin piece down that big and go to sleep comfortably. I feel it a lot more on the old bones. So I don't think it's realistic that there is something you can carry that gets you off the ground. So most of the time I just pack it with lots of scrub. I'll put loads of fern or any of those vines that you can get, that muddle of vine. Have you ever seen that? It sort of grows in a tangle. That's really good, and it gives you some spring. I am going to do another primitive survival challenge this year. I'm only doing one a year because they take it out of me, but I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to showcase on how you build a bed in the wild, but that's another topic for another day. What I'm really asking you guys is, first of all, what tent do you use? What do you know that keeps the water out, keeps the wind out, that doesn't get blown away if you're in a hill space or you're in a gully where the wind comes whistling down, and one that anchors down well? And also, is there a bed that you can take with you, that's lightweight, that you can carry in your pack, that you can fold up, that spreads out. I've never seen such a thing, but that doesn't mean that there isn't such a thing. One of you, or you might have a solution. I'm not into hammocks. I've done hammocks and I've never slept well in them. I've got a hammock there. I've got an old Hammersley hammock, but they just don't sleep that well. The other thing too is, as we go into winter, I've had this company write to me. They're over in Russia, I think, or possibly the Ukraine, and they've offered to sponsor me with a tent that has a fireplace inside it, and it looks really good. But the trouble is, the whole setup's just too heavy for me to carry. I almost said yes to it, but I don't want to commit to having to make a whole lot of videos with somebody's product that I'm just not going to use. So that's something which, yeah, I'd only be doing it to get the tent. I need something I can stick on my back, because you carry your rifle, you carry all your dog gear for your dogs, your feed, your stitch-up kit, all your surgery, your first aid kit, and your electrics, your collars, your battery pack for charging, because if you're going overnight mission for 2 or 3 nights, you carry a battery pack. And on that note, here's a wee tip for you guys that do go away. I have found so far one of the best things is actually a Makita battery, and you can get an adapter for it, and it takes a C fitting, and you can put that in there and you can charge your collar on that. So that's a bit of food for thought. So that's one thing. And keeping my knife light, my steel light, everything light, boots light, everything light. So the boots that I'm wearing are these ones currently on my feet. They are made in China, and I know the name, it always goes out of my head when I go to say it, but they're a super light boot. Oh God, I know what they are, I just can't think of it right now. It's too dark to see the name on there. It's a 2-syllable word. But anyway, these are super light, but they don't really keep you as dry as I would like. So the other thing too is, I really hate when I'm sleeping is the mosquitoes. So it's got to have a net on it. It's got to keep mosquitoes out, because one mosquito can just stuff up a night's sleep. And the thing about going for a hunt and going away in the bush overnight, for you younger guys, it's not so important, but for us older guys, if you don't get good sleep, you're going to function really poorly the next day. Sleep is more important than food when you go away. Food's important, but sleep's more important. You can go 3 or 4 days without food and water and you'll keep going, but you go 3 or 4 days without sleep and you'll start to cognitively not function well. So getting good sleep. And I've got my sleeping bag sorted. I've got a good sleeping bag, although I still may look at another one, a warmer one for this winter. And I've got a good inflatable mattress. It's actually a Thermarest, which is good, but I do need to think about tents. So that was one thing I wanted to ask you. And also, are any of you guys using small tents that do have fireplaces in them, or some heating device? Just a thought. There's some good stuff around these days, eh? I think there's a tiny wee one I've seen that packs up and goes through the tent. But I know the is it MIA? Is that the one that Josh used to use? My mate Simon's got one of those now. That's too big for me. That means helicopter job, fly in and take the firewood, and I haven't got a budget for doing that sort of thing. I'm basically everything's on a shoestring. Everything's really on a shoestring with the price of fuel. Anyway, it's been a really good weekend. I went out in the kayak 2 days ago and I smashed it. I caught fish for everybody, and I filleted and made 10 packs for Miss Julie, for Tucker, for her, and I gave my ex-girlfriend Awi a good plentiful supply, and I've given actually everybody some. Well, not actually everybody. I said to my brother, "Do you want some fish?" And he goes, "Nah." And I know, he said nah because he doesn't want to do all the work, because I don't fillet fish for anybody other than my girlfriend. Everybody else gets the whole fish and they take care of it themselves. And if they can't take care of it, I figure I go out and catch it and do all that. The least they can do is, I whip the gills out and the guts when I've got time, but I'm not going to scale and fillet and all and bag it up anymore. I've been doing that for a lot of years, people, and I think you hunters agree. And there's nothing more than a hunter hates, or a fisherman hates, is when you give somebody some food and they don't appreciate it. So, because there's so much work goes into it. People think that going fishing and hunting is cheaper than going to the shop, and I can tell you hands down, it would be far cheaper for me and you, if you're a hunter and a fisherman, to have no fishing gear, have no dogs, no hunting gear, and just spend your money and buy it at the shop. Way, way cheaper. But because we have this gear, we can do all this, then it's optimal for us to catch as much fish as we can, or catch as much pork as we can, to pay for what we've got. My thoughts only, but I would like to hear your thoughts, particularly on the tent. Okay guys, have a great week. Thanks for hearing me out, and the next video will be my kayak mission, where I went out and smashed the old snapper. The mosquitoes are starting to bite me, and the sun's gone down, and there's not much light left. Thank God I've got a decent phone that captures the light, because it's actually dark in there. Our sun's gone. Anyway, that was just Sunday's video. Sorry it's nothing flash, just me having a yak. And thanks for answering those questions if you can, and we'll see you next one. Be good, can't be good, be careful. And yes, that is a possum on my head. That came from Tony from Waikaremoana Hunting Forum, well, actually Hunting YouTube channel, and he's a outfitter, and he gave me that years ago, and it's made out of possum. He made it himself, and the flaps come down and keep your ears warm. But I've actually got a rabbit one that's even warmer, so it's a debate between this one and the possum one. I'm not sure which one I'm going to take this winter. Have a good one, guys. See you soon. Cheery.